Hey there, everyone. So I wanted to do a short video to try to give you a strategy to work through converting these Babylonian numerals to our standard base 10 system that we use. Now, the first thing that you have to remember is that Babylonians use base 60. Okay, that's something that you're just going to have memorized. The other thing that you're going to have to remember is that the Babylonians use these two symbols right here, and you will have to memorize which symbol goes with which numeral. Now, because the symbols are so similar, it's easy to get these two confused. So what I have done to help myself remember is I use this first pairing right here, and I remind myself that if I draw an angry face with one eyebrow, that's my symbol 1 because he only has one eyebrow and it goes down like this for my angry face. Okay, that's what I use. You can do whatever you need to do in order to remember which symbol goes with which numeral. Now, once you have that all figured out, then you can start working on doing these conversions. So because we have base 60, we are not going to be multiplying by powers of 10 like we would with our system, our Hindu Arabic system. So what I would recommend students do first is that they come down to the example and they section off how many groups of numbers, because remember the Babylonian system uses spaces kind of like where we would use commas, I guess, sort of. But they use spaces to separate out into groups. So in this case, we have 3 groups of numbers. Once you get that done, the next thing I would do is I would put an empty box underneath each one of those groups. And then before I actually work with the symbols, I would just write down the base 60 component. So starting from the right and then working to the left, I would put down here, it's technically times 60 raised to the 0 power. Now I know most of the time that's just written out as a 1, but if you are somebody that prefers to have consistent patterns, 60 to the 0 power is equivalent to 1. And the reason that you can write it, if you prefer patterns, is that this first one is 60 to the 0, this next one is 60 to the first, and then the third one is 60 to the second. And we're going to end up adding all of those quantities together. Then what I would recommend you do is now you go back and you look at the Babylonian symbols and then you put the corresponding value for this grouping of symbols in that empty box. So for example, in this case, we have 3 arrows that are pointing to the left, and each of those arrows, is a 10, so that would represent 30. And then we have one downward arrow, like my angry eyebrow arrow, that would be a 1. So in this empty box, we would put 31. And then I would go to my next group. So I have 1 10 here, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 singles, so that would be a 14. And then here I have 2 10s, which would be 20, and then 3 1s, so I would have 23. And what I end up having then is 23 times 60 to the second, plus 14 times 60 to the first, plus 31 times 60 to the 0 power. And then I can type that into my calculator and get my Hindu Arabic number. When I type that into my calculator, I end up getting 83671. So 83,671 would be the Hindu Arabic equivalent to that setup that I put right there. Again, you don't have to do it this way, but if you find that you are struggling, that might be something to try.